Do you remember this sound? Does your oven play a little jingle when it's preheated? Does your car make any musical sounds? How about your phone? Your video game consoles? These short songs are called jingles, and companies use them to spark emotions between you and their products. And they've done so since the mid to late 20th century. Check out this Westinghouse dryer from 1949. This dryer had a xylophone strapped to the bottom of it to play the company's How Dry Am I laundry jingle. I like most of the jingles my appliances play, unless they're just bad or annoying. Sometimes a product's jingle is so effective that we'll remember it for the rest of our lives. For example, the Nintendo GameCube, a video game console released back in 2001, has a very unique and charming jingle that plays when you power it on. For many, the GameCube and its whimsical games represent a time of joy and innocence before the harsh realities of adulthood hit. The GameCube jingle was playful and inviting. It helped to immerse you into the GameCube's world of fantastical games, and it helped to drill those early gaming experiences into the creases of your brain. When you hear it today, it might transport you back to when you first felt the heat that radiated from Isle Delfino in Super Mario Sunshine, or when you and your cousins spent hours duking it out in Super Smash Bros. While eating cheap pizza. A good jingle is more than just a random song slapped onto a product at the last minute. Jingle composers will often spill blood, sweat, and tears into getting things just right. Joel Beckerman said that he and his team spent nearly 500 hours on a full-length song that they were hired to create for AT&T. By the end of the process, they had crafted a joyful and upbeat pop song. Joel was certain that AT&T would love it, but it was immediately rejected. It just doesn't speak to the important work we're doing. It sounds like sunshine and rainbows. I'm not convinced most people will buy that sentiment. Whether it be to contact emergency services or to call grandma and wish her a happy birthday.
Hello, young man.
AT&T provides customers with the infrastructure for connection. Sure, happiness might be a piece of the puzzle, but it isn't the whole picture. The executives knew that in order for the jingle to have the biggest possible impact, it needed to more accurately represent their brand purpose. Philosopher Immanuel Kant called music the quickening art because of the immediate jolt it can have on our brains. Corporations already spend billions of dollars to better understand what makes us tick. Why wouldn't they also take advantage of the power of music? The year is 1994. Pagers, Friends, Forrest Gump. Welcome to Redmond, Washington, home of one of the fastest growing tech corporations in the world, Microsoft. Microsoft was massive in 1994, but it wasn't nearly as big as it is today. Back then, not that many people had computers because they were confusing to use and they were expensive. But the computer was too powerful of a product to not eventually become a massive part of our everyday lives. It just needed a digestible push to the public. Well, Microsoft had a plan to make that happen with a new product called Windows 95. Through features like the Start button and the taskbar, Windows 95 made it easier for the average person to take advantage of powerful computer features. Microsoft spent an estimated $200 million to promote Windows 95, hiring celebrities like Jay Leno and Jennifer Aniston to promote the software to mainstream audiences. The Empire State Building was lit with the colors of the Windows logo. If everything went according to plan, Windows 95 would play a massive role in launching personal computing into the mainstream. But in 1995, when people booted up their new systems, they needed to feel the power of what this product represented. And I bet you can see where this is going. They needed a jingle. Over in England, British musician Brian Eno found himself in a tough spot. He'd been producing albums since the 70s, but in 1994, he found himself creatively lost. So Eno appreciated it when Microsoft designers approached him and asked him to create a jingle for Windows 95 because it gave him a problem to try and solve. Microsoft told Eno they wanted the jingle to be inspiring, optimistic, emotional, universal, sentimental, and futuristic. Oh, and it could only be 3 seconds long. Now you're probably thinking, Brian Eno was such a skilled musician, he probably finished it in an hour and then went to go relax. But no. After being commissioned for the creation of the jingle, Brian Eno went on to create 84 different pieces of music to potentially become the startup jingle for Windows 95. Let's listen to the final version of the jingle. Pretty beautiful, right? Well, Eno's jingle ended up being listened to by around 40 million people in the first year of the operating system's release. Windows 95 was a massive success. It played a big role in bringing personal computers to the mainstream. Microsoft had the right product at the right time. They had a massive marketing push and effective plan. Windows 95's jingle was the icing on the cake. Its futuristic yet emotional sound helped users to ponder the possibilities of the future and reflect on the ways in which their relationship with technology was changing. And although we can't exactly gauge the impact the Windows 95 jingle had on Windows 95's success, what we can look at is how people still love it today and how it brings them back to those times. This is Brian Eno's greatest hit. No other composition of his has been listened to so often by so many people in so many countries. And to top it all off, Brian Eno said that he wrote the Windows 95 jingle on a Mac. He says, "I've never used a PC in my life. I don't like them." I know a lot of logically thinking people would say, why do I need to hear some stupid children's song when my laundry's done? I just need to know it's done. A simple buzz is fine, I don't need a whole song. And that's totally fair to feel that way. But to me, a buzz is a bit boring. When done right, a good jingle can help to transform an otherwise lifeless hunk of plastic and metal into a powerful emotional experience. The truth is that you don't really know you're creating memories until the moment has already faded. The power of the music in those devices we used years ago is that when you listen to it today, you get a little bit of that time back, even if it's just a distant, nostalgic memory.